Hi everyone, and you are welcome to this lecture, Iteration, Iterable, and Iterator in Python. In this lecture, I'm going to define what Iterator is, we will see the meaning of Iterable and Iterator, we will understand the Iterator protocol, and I will end up this lecture by a quick summary. So let's get started. Actually, I decided to make a standalone lecture for these concepts because you are going to use them a lot in your career when you use Python programming language. So being able to understand them well will help you use the programming language in the future smoothly. First of all, let's start by defining what iteration is. Iteration is taking each item of something one after another, and usually we do that because I want to process these items somewhere in my program. In other words, we say anytime you use a loop explicitly or implicitly to go over a group of items, that's known as iteration. Now let's see what's the meaning of iterable and iterator. Iterable, usually we call an object in Python as an iterable if I pass this object to the built-in iter function and then I get an iterator object as a response from this iter function. So from iterable, using iter, we get an iterator object. So what make an object iterator? It should support iterator protocol. Now the question that rises in your mind, what's iterator protocol? The thorough details about Iter protocol are out of the scope of this course. However, I'm going to give you a brief introduction about this protocol. So, if you remember, we say iterator is an object that supports iterator protocol. In other words, this object, number one, has the ability to save the current state or last returned item. Number two, when it's passed to the built-in next function, it returns the next item and updates the current state. So to summarize, iterator is able to save its current state. Each time I'm using next function with, it will give me the next item and it will update its current state. Now let's see an example to understand these concepts thoroughly. Before I start talking about iterator and iterable, first of all, let me show you this simple example. Assume I have the following list 1, which is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. And if I want to print each item, I will say for item in list 1 print item. If I run, I will get these items printed as here. If you remember when we define for loop, we say that the syntax for this loop is for variable in iterable. So we can understand from this simple example that list 1 is an iterable object. Now let's see why list 1 is an iterable object. So I will type the following. I will say itr equal to iter list1, and then I will say iter type equal to type of iter, and then I will print iter. I will print iter type. Run. As you see here, the object type is list iterator, and this is exactly what I have defined about iterable. We say it's an object that when I pass it to iter function, like here, I will get an object which is iterator. So the type of iter is iterator. Now, when we define the iterator, we say it supports the iterator protocol. So let's see what I mean by that in real code example. And we know that iter is an iterator object. Iterator object is an object that it saves its current state and it returns the next item each time I use next function. So if I say item equal to next iter and I print item and run, as you see I get 1, which is the first item. If I use it another 2 times and run, as you see here I got 1, 2, 3. So this object, which is iter, each time I'm using next function, it gives me the next item from the iterable that we start with, which is in this case list 1. Now, if I put next function number of times more than number of elements, so in this case I have 1, 2, 3, 4. If I run, I will get 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let me put another one and run. As you see here, I will get this exception, which is stop iteration. And this happens usually when you exhausted your iterable, which means you use next function and you already extracted all the items from this iterable. And that's all for this code session. Now let me summarize what we have learned in this lecture. Iteration, it's the process of taking each item of something one after another. Iterable is an object that when it is passed to the built-in iter function, it returns an iterator. Iterator is an object that supports iterator protocol, which means it saves its current state and returns the next item when next function is used. Please refer to the file iteration, iterable, and iterator in Python challenges, in which you will find some challenges to practice what you have learned in this lecture. Thank you very much for your time, and if you are available, join me in the next lecture.